All right, let's get into it. Just think about all the data you create every single day. Every text you send, every photo you snap, every search you make. How on earth does the digital world make sense of it all? Well, it's not magic, that's for sure. There's a hidden blueprint, a fundamental set of rules for how information gets organized. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that blueprint. So let's start with a really human example. How could a computer possibly understand your diary? I mean, it's probably filled with random thoughts, inside jokes, maybe a ticket stub from a concert. It's pure chaos, right? Well, the whole challenge of taming that chaos, that's what this is all about. And the very first step is to look for some kind of order. So let's begin where computers are most comfortable, in a world of perfect order. We can call this the orderly grid, but the technical term is, of course, structured data. Structured data is, you guessed it, exactly what it sounds like. I want you to picture a perfectly organized spreadsheet. All the information is arranged in these neat little rows and columns, and every single piece of data has a clear label, like name, age, or city. There's no guesswork needed. Everything has its specific place. You're actually using this stuff all the time in tools like Excel or Google Sheets. This perfect arrangement is exactly why computers are so darn good at searching and analyzing it. Think of it as the super organized filing cabinet of the digital world. It's the backbone of everything from online shopping inventories to your bank records. But now, let's leave that tidy, orderly world behind and step into the Wild West. Because the reality is most of the data out there, well, it isn't neat and tidy at all. It's this vast, chaotic territory we call unstructured data. Unstructured data is the complete opposite. It has no rules, no fixed format. It's kind of like a shoebox where you've just tossed old photos, concert tickets, and scribbled notes over the years. All of it is valuable, sure, but there's absolutely no system to find anything. It's just a pile of stuff. This is the world of our emails, our text messages, our photos and videos. It's the data from our diary, remember? And here's the key thing to understand. You can't get any real insight from it until you find a way to impose some order. The real trick is figuring out how to sort through that beautiful mess. So you've got these two extremes, right? On one side, a perfectly organized filing cabinet that's super easy to search. And on the other, a chaotic whirlwind of information that holds immense value, but man, it requires a ton of effort to make sense of. For a long, long time, these were our only two options. But what if there was a middle ground, something between perfect order and total chaos? A smarter way to organize? Well, that is exactly where our third category comes in, the smart middle, also known as semi-structured data. This type of data falls right between our two extremes. It doesn't use those rigid rows and columns, but it isn't pure chaos either. Instead, it uses simple labels or tags to describe each piece of information. Think of it like putting little sticky notes on the items in that messy shoebox. It creates a loose structure, a kind of hierarchy that a computer can actually follow. And this is what makes it so incredibly powerful. It gives us the flexibility to handle all that messy, varied information, but with just enough organization, thanks to those internal tags, to make it readable for a computer. It really is the best of both worlds. You've probably heard of the file types that use this, like JSON or XML. They are basically the engine behind so much of the modern web. They use these simple, human-readable tags to label data, like, for example, a tag for name followed by John Doe. This simple labeling brings just enough order to the chaos, and that's what allows apps and websites to exchange information so smoothly. Okay, so we've mapped out our blueprint, we've got the orderly grid, the Wild West, and the smart middle. But let's zoom out for a second. Beyond all the definitions, why does any of this actually matter in the real world? It all boils down to one fundamental rule. To find meaning in data, structure has to come first. You just can't ask a computer to find patterns in pure chaos. You either have to use the structure that's already there, or you have to be clever enough to create one yourself. Because that is the payoff. The second you take that jumble of information and give it some kind of structure, like sorting all these random shapes into clear, neat categories, suddenly finding insights becomes possible. That organization is what lets us finally see the patterns, spot the trends, and hear the stories the data has been waiting to tell all along. And that leaves us with a really fascinating final thought. For decades, we've been the ones building all the systems to organize this data. But now, AI is getting better and better at reading the chaos directly. It's learning to understand our digital diaries all on its own. So the real question is, as these new tools start to listen, what undiscovered stories will our data finally be able to tell?